Played well last night, but before that, never really got going. Didn't look comfortable. Wasn't acclimatised. But this is a great chance for him. Needs to be a win, and a big win at that. But I think he's capable after last night's performance.
Well, he secured the break with the lag. And so important for these balls to sit up and pay attention now for Kuo. That match you alluded to, an 8-2 win over Alex Lely. He had to win that match to have any chance. And whether or not he's done the math here, we've told you a few times already, he needs a decisive victory here. 7-3 or better to take Vilmos Foldes' place in the semifinals.
Well, that was a good start. Once again, a thunderous break there. Seems to be his trademark in this tournament. And he's got a shot at the one into the middle. And he's made it.
And beautifully around the angles for the three. No applause whatsoever. A very partisan crowd supporting Foldes, but that was a great shot from Kuo. That cue ball traveled about 12 feet to land spot on for position to the three.
You just know in this match, every single rack, so important. Imperative that he gets off to a good start. Needs to win all his service games for me.
And needs some help.
That's right.
As we've said, 7-3 or better. In an alternating break format, that relies on a little bit of luck.
Well, he's played that perfectly. The 6 ball into the corner. Now a routine 8 ball into the middle. Stop the cue ball. And there's a 9 ball for the first rack of this match. And he's looking good.
He's looking as good as he's looked here in Warsaw. Full stop. Easy 9. Kuo starts off with a punctuation mark. 1-0 over Foldes. But it'll be Foldes with the break in rack number 2. This young star from Chinese Taipei, runner-up in the World Championships. He finished in the semifinals the previous year, a mainstay on the Asian Tour. Only 27 years of old. They call him the Little Monster. Well, he looks like he could easily be 16 years of age, too. Great player. Kuo Po-Cheng. And some of his best pool might well be yet to come, and even possibly in this event. But he's the focus of our attention.
By 1 rack to 0.
Everybody knows what he has to do, even Vilmos. The break in rack 2. Foldes admitted to me that he was under a bit of pressure. He felt very nervous, Andy, and I wonder if he's going to be able to control these nerves.
Well, he's going to have to. Judging by the first frame there, first rack of this match. Kuo looks like he's on form. And as I said earlier, he's going to have to score here.
He's got a chance at the 1. Just off angle slightly to make life difficult. And he may have to raise the backhand, dig into this.
That's right, Jim. And when you are feeling the nerves, this is not the sort of start you want. Always feels good to get a few open shots. Get the feel of the table. But he's having a good think here.
Well, he's having a look to play the 1 into the top left corner. Considerably tougher shot. Avails better positional value, but this is missable.
Yes, he's going to have to stun off the side rail here. That's what he's done. He's played it well. Just needs to keep running.
This is far from a formality, though. The run out here. He's on the 2. But the 3 on the wrong side of the table as far as Vilmos is concerned. And he's got the 6 there just to hamper him even more.
Yes, but Jim, look, could he play the 2 into the corner and possibly use the 9 ball? 2 into the corner, possibly run onto the 9. Or is he choosing to draw across table? Well, he's played the gap. That was tough. That was tough.
I don't know whether he can see enough of this 3 to make it. He can certainly hit it, but another look. He caught the knuckle of that corner pocket, and that really is what took the cue ball out of position.
It was a big ask. Very small margin for error there.
He represented Hungary in the World Junior Championships the first time I saw him 4 years ago back in Canada. I had no idea the talent that this youngster possessed, not at that time. Well, he could see enough of the three to make it. Unfortunate, really, but I think you may see Kuo have a go at this bank shot. Would afford position to the four. Vilmos knows that he wanted to keep Kuo in his chair for a lot longer than he did.
Yes, he can afford to take this bank on if he chooses. Be bringing the cue ball back to the rail where the cue ball is now and leaving distance if he does miss the three ball.
Andy, we were talking at the outset of all the different calculations, you know, getting the pen, the pencil, and the eraser out and doing all the figuring and weighing everything up. What if? I mean, there are so many variables here. Oh, what a great bank shot. Boy, has Kuo come out to play this match or what?
Oh, he's up for this. After the disappointing start he made. Played well last night, and he knows what he's got to do.
They've never played before. This is the first time. And this one gives Kuo every chance to secure rack 2. But talking about those calculations again, I mean, dependent on what Foldes does here, Torsten Homan guaranteed to finish top of the table. That we can be certain of. But the other players are all jockeying for position. Bustamante right now sitting in second place. 3 wins, 2 losses, but he's got 30 rack wins. And Vilmos Foldes sitting with 21 rack wins right now. Well, he can't catch Bustamante, but he can catch Tony Drago. Drago currently sitting in third place with 23 rack wins and the identical score of 3 wins and 2 losses as Kuo slices in a nice 6. But you just know these guys are near monitors watching, Andy.
Almost definitely. And as you say, should Foldes win this game, it would push Tony Drago into 4th position, which would mean he'd be playing Homan. Now, let's not kid ourselves. They're both difficult games, Homan or Bustamante. But he's had a previous victory against Bustamante. And I think that may help him mentally.
This 9 for 2-0. And a 2-game margin appears very quickly here in.
Welcome back to Warsaw. This is rack 4, and Kuo has now extended his lead to 3-0.
Rack 4, Foldes to break, trailing by 3 racks to 0.
About the same sort of climate here in Warsaw as it is in Canada at this time of year, Andy, just in case you're thinking of holidaying. And a great break from Foldes. This is just what he needed. He's got to stem the tide. He's got to secure that first rack, loosen up that back arm, settle his nerves, because you know he's got to be very anxious.
There's absolutely no room for error now. Can't afford to give anything up here, unforced. Oh dear. Can he see this ball?
I don't think so. I think this is turning into a nightmare for Foldes. Last 16 is where he bowed out in the World Championships that Kuo got beat in the finals. Lost a heartbreaker there, 11-10 to Nick Vandenberg, but look at this. Can't see the 2.
That's what happens when you're struggling. He's willing that ball there to escape from behind the black 8. It means so much to him, so determined.
And Kuo Po-Cheng just sat in his chair, waiting for the opportunity to pounce yet again.
Well, he's attempting rail first. Try and make this ball. He's not even made contact with it, unfortunately.
Ball in hand.
Well, he's given absolutely no reason for any of these Hungarian supporters to cheer, not yet. And I fear the worst for him. He's playing and looking like a young man under a world of pressure, Andy.
It really is. And look at the table he's given up. Ball in hand. 5 balls remaining.
And Kuo also knows as that 3 slithers into the corner pocket. He knows that with this rack win, he's got the 4-rack lead that he has to maintain in this match. And with the break in the next, he's handling the pressure admirably. And no stranger to pressure either. Semifinals of the World Championships in 2004. 1 stage further in 2005.
If he takes this rack, 4-0 up.
And I just had a quick glance at Foldes. His body language is looking very negative. His head in his hand, watching Kuo do the business. Down goes the 9, familiar sight. Kuo out to a 4-0 lead, and with the break to come in rack 5. Just a great start for the beaten finalist in the World Championships. I was talking about body language, and there you see Vilmos Foldes. It was only an hour flight
Rack
to get
5,
here to Warsaw
Kuo
for
to
him.
break, leading by 4
A
racks
lot
to 0.
closer to home than is Kuo Po Cheng. But you just know that Kuo didn't come here to do any shopping.
He certainly didn't. And all he needs to do now is trade racks. 3 more, and he's there. And he's got the advantage with the break. If he gets on this 1.
And he has. And he's got the angle to take the cue ball back over for the 3. Everything is unfolding just as Kuo would have scripted it. Just an amazing turn of events here in Warsaw. This Whirlpool League never fails to serve up some excitement. We're in the 5th rack of the 888.com Whirlpool League for 2005. It's been all one-way traffic in favor of Kuo from Chinese Taipei. And with 5 racks looking to be under our belt very shortly, Vilmos Foldes has only pocketed 5 balls in total. That's not going to get you to the winning line.
No, and once again, he's in prime position. Makes the pink 4. Beautifully on the orange 5. And when he takes this rack, and it looks like he is going to take this rack, he'll take a lead in this match. 5 racks to 0.
Boy, he thumped that one in with authority and controlled the cue ball very nicely. And Foldes now needs a little bit of help.
Just a bit.
All Kuo has to do is hold serve. He's taken the first 5 racks of the scheduled 10. And confirmation with that 9, 5-0. Kuo Po Cheng in front of Vilmos Foldes. Foldes with the break to try and stop the rot in rack 6. A lot of disappointment etched on the faces of all those Hungarian supporters that have come here to watch
Rack
their
6,
champion.
Foldes to
You
break,
just feel
trailing
that
by
in
5
terms of
racks
mental
to 0.
preparation, it would have been better for Foldes if he knew he had to come out here and win the match. Knowing you only had to get to 4, it's not like knowing you've got to come out and beat your opponent.
No, I know what you're saying. And here, he's been looking dejected sat in that seat. But he's got to play the table and not the situation. Got to forget the score. And just try and be positive. If he can find the form that he had against Francisco Bustamante earlier in this tournament, believe me, he can come back and win this game.
In round 4 of this particular event, Foldes thumped Bustamante 7-3. And what a great bank shot there on that one. Gives him a chance. A long 2. He's got to win a rack and get himself off the mark and at least apply a little pressure to Kuo.
That's right. Can't win the match from here, but he doesn't need to win the match.
But even that 2, the way that he struck that, Andy, very nervy.
Well, look at the pressure out there. One of the biggest matches of his life, this. To get him through to the semi-final stages.
Well struck 3. Retrieve the situation very nicely. Get back out the center of the table for the 6 to the same pocket.
Just slightly the wrong angle, but it'll do him. He'll punch it through. Out from the side. We can just string these 3 balls together now.
Just wants to have a look to see how much angle he can leave himself on that 8. His other option would be to bring the cue ball off the 2 cushions and play the 8 into the same pocket. So just depends how he sees it, and he's going to leave himself into the side. This was an important rack for Foldes. If nothing else, he forces Kuo to hold serve.
Just trying to drop it in and run through. And he should get this 9. But it could have been easier. 5-0 down.
You'll hear the applause. The Hungarian contingent here. I referred to it as rack 8, getting excited, a little ahead of myself. Why not? Kuo with the break. He's 4 racks clear, and he's got to maintain that lead.
Once again, Jim, thunderous break. But if you watch there, that cue ball was arcing towards the middle. And when he was struggling, first couple of sessions, that's what he was doing. Needs to keep a check on that cue ball. But apart from that, his form looks superb.
Very dodgy one here. Ah, what a shot. Has he hit it hard enough?
Or has he hit it too hard?
I thought he was trying to play off that right-hand cushion to get back to the middle of the table. I don't know whether he can see the 3. He must have known that cue ball was going to be traveling. That was going to be tough to maintain position to the 3. I think if he could have seen the 3, he might well have shot it by now.
Well, I'm with you there, yeah. Body language would suggest he couldn't, but we'll soon see. Well, he's played the safety, but look at the cue ball.
This man is starting to show you how he made his way to not only the semifinals in 2004, but the finals in 2005 of the biggest event in the world. What a great shot that was from Kuo. He's maintained the initiative over Foldes.
He's keeping the pressure on. And that safety he just played there, absolutely no margin for error whatsoever.
Ball shot.
And it's bought him
Ball in
cue ball in hand. It was a terrific effort from Kuo. And Foldes just trying to snick the edge of it, but it was that good, the safety. To go 6-1 in front, 5 colors.
And at 6-1, you fancy him for one more rack, don't you?
Well, he knows he's got at least the break in his favor. All you ever ask in an event like this is you don't want to be dependent on other players' results. And Kuo had his fate in his own hands when he came into this match. He knew what he had to do. And obviously spent a lot more time readying himself from above the shoulders, because he never hit a ball on the practice table leading up to this. And this is by far the best we've seen from him. 6-1. The scoreline still very one-sided in favor of the Taiwan star. Kuo in command in Warsaw. Just a brilliant safety shot played from Kuo. And as you said, Andy, no room whatsoever for margin.
Rack 8. Foldes to break, trailing by 6 racks to 1.
And Foldes has to have this rack. He cannot let Kuo get to 7. He's got to have this and the last 2.
He couldn't ask for better than that. Great break. Perfect cue ball, and he's on the 1. And he's got to make this one count. Definitely the point of no return. He's well capable of staying in this match. But no unforced errors from here.
Well, there's no time like the present. He knows exactly what he has to do. And he's going to need a little help. The best he can do right now is get to 6-2.
And this is no gimme. Long 3. But the cue ball's going to have to travel here.
Beautiful stroke. He's got a sound technique. Only 20 years old. The youngest competitor in this year's event by 6 years over Torsten Homan and 7 over his opponent here. As I said, the best he can do is get to 6-2. It'll be Kuo with the break in rack 9. So he'll need a chance in that one.
He'll be hoping that when Kuo breaks, that cue ball arcs into the middle. I'm sure of it. Because when it doesn't, he seems to be landing on balls.
Beautifully controlled. Under immense pressure, he produces the goods here. 6-2 the score. Kuo with the break in rack 9. And Foldes hoping for a chance. He has arrived
Rack 9.
in the
Kuo to break,
888.com
leading by 6 racks
Whirlpool
to 2.
League. The break for Kuo Po Cheng. And a chance to move on to the semifinals. Don't know whether the one goes or whether he'll even attempt it, but he most certainly has some safety options here.
Without a doubt, yes. And once again, that cue ball was traveling.
And we just had a quick glimpse of that cluster in the top right corner as well.
Looking at feathering off this one ball. Possibly to the side rail and behind that little cluster. It's a delicate shot to play well. There, he's played it. Needs a spin to take, and you saw the spin there. Widen the angle.
I don't know whether or not he's left that bottom cushion for Foldes. What a great shot that would have been had he just nudged the 7 out of the way a little harder. I wonder if that might have been in his plan.
I think it was. Yeah, very intelligent shot. If he kicks that 7 just a touch harder, he releases the 3 and leaves an open table on his return.
Foldes has to hit this one. Mission accomplished, and it might have just bought him a little time.
Well, this is a very, very tough cut. And I would think the safety would be the order of the day if it's not touching the rail. And that's what he's doing. And he's great at these shots. Look at that. Has it popped out?
Well, Foldes quickly out of his chair. I don't think he can get through to the 1. So again, a great containing safety, but still the insurance policy in the form of that 3. The storyline remains the same. Foldes has to contact the 1.
And if he has to use a rail, this is a tougher shot than the last one.
Vilmos Foldes looking at a very difficult escape to try and contact that yellow 1. And should Kuo survive, a great hit from Vilmos there, and look at, he's returned the favor. What a tremendous shot from the former World Junior Champion.
That was a brilliant shot. Kicking 2 rails. Look at this shot. Bottom rail, side rail. And he knew that cue ball was coming down table and the 1 going back up.
A shot that Efren Reyes would have been proud of, that one. Great effort from Foldes, and he looks pleased with himself, but it's the jump cue for Kuo Po Cheng. Right now, as the tables sit, Homan top of the table. Francisco Bustamante sitting second. And Foldes knows that he's got to win the last 2 racks to fight his way through. Unbelievable. Just fantastic pool that we are witnessing here. Right over the 4. Probably didn't intend the bank on the 1, but who would begrudge him? And look what welcomes Foldes back to the table. Every time he comes to the table, he's looking at bars.
And this time, not only is he hooked, but he's released the ball that was his potential problem, the red 3. So what a situation to be in.
We've seen some tremendous escapes from Vilmos Foldes in this year's event. And he's going to have to provide us with the best ever right here.
Here we go. Well, it's 3 rails minimum. 1, 2. Look at that for a shot. He's made some tremendous escapes, but look at this. 2 ball next to the 9 ball.
Foldes just keeps pulling rabbits from hats. You won't see it any better. And I guarantee you, the best kickers in the world. And Kuo's looked at the 2-9. It doesn't look set. Foldes again buys time. Trying to get behind those colors. He used the 9 to hold position into the safe end of the table for the 2, Andy, but everything in the open. Everything resting on this 2 ball. And apart from the footsteps from Vilmos Foldes, you can hear a pin drop out there right now.
Yeah, this is awkward. Hampered by the brown 7. I mean, this is a possible cut, but how difficult a cut is that? Safety probably the order of the day, but it's difficult to hide the 2 ball if you send it back up table.
The initiative firmly in Kuo's chair. Nothing more than containment from Foldes. And he's bumped the 9 into the path of what looked like it could have been a bank shot.
Yes, I'm certain if that 9 had landed where it was, he would have been going for this bank shot.
He's having a look at where the 5 is. Could he possibly take on the billiard to try and slot that 5 into the side pocket? It's definitely a possibility.
It's on.
The only reason I could see him refusing it is, again, position not guaranteed to the 2. Let's see what he opts for. No, full throttle safety. And a wise choice, I feel. This Kuo has brought it all. He's leaving it all on the table here today. Last match in the round-robin stages.
Once again, this is a difficult ball to get safe.
Well, Vilmos knows, too, that if he wins this rack, he's got the break in the next. And you'll see no emotion whatsoever from Kuo. I doubt you'll even see him show any if he does get the all-important 7th rack win. That would secure his place in the semis. Don't think he came here to qualify. He didn't want to back in to the title. He wanted to barge his way through the front door. Big shot here for Foldes.
Is he trying to take the cue ball across table? This is a tough shot. That's what he tried.
He's left a chance. This 2 goes. He tried to get it past the 9 and use the 6 and the 9 for cover. But so much pressure on every ball. And Kuo knows it. My hands, I can barely hold the pen, Andy. Sweaty palm time in the comm box. I can't even begin to think what it's like out there. And anyone that doesn't like this round-robin format, tune into this a few times. Let me know if you don't have a few more gray hairs. What a shot from Kuo. No applause from the Hungarian crowd whatsoever. Never touch the cushion. Kuo Po Cheng, 5 shots away from getting the vital 7th rack. Didn't give him much of a chance, to be honest, Andy, but the way that he has played, I wonder what Torsten Homan thinks.
Well, he'll be watching this, no doubt. And what form he's in. What a brilliant performance. Wasn't just a win he needed, it was a big win. And he's done it in style.
Seven and 9. Still a hush in the crowd. Let's watch to see if there's any emotion from Kuo. 7-2 if he gets this 9. It's there. Kuo is through, and look at the smile from Robert. He's Kuo's handler here in Warsaw. He knew. He did the math. The all-important 7th rack win arrives, and Kuo, with a smile, knows he's through to the semifinals. 1 rack to play. Fantastic turn of events here from the Knott Building, downtown Warsaw. The 888.com Whirlpool League
Final rack. Foldes to break,
has provided us
racks to 2.
with a chilling match here that unfortunately for Vilmos Foldes is going to see him out of this year's event. 7-2 the current scoreline. Foldes needed to get to 4, and unfortunately for him, there are only 10 racks scheduled.
Yes, you've got to feel for him a little bit. The performance he put up against Francisco Bustamante was absolutely outstanding. Faultless in that match. He's played some great pool, but there can only be one winner.
And he will end up tied with his opponent here, Kuo Cheng, in terms of match wins. 2 wins alongside 3 losses, but unfortunately for Foldes, the telling tale right here. The loss against Kuo, and that's what sees Kuo through. And what's more, Kuo had to beat him soundly because Foldes had the advantage in terms of rack wins. A 4-rack advantage that Kuo erased with a great performance. And one now that Torsten Homan has probably witnessed, because that's who Kuo is going to be opposing in the semis. And you give a player like Kuo Cheng a second life, Andy, how dangerous can he be?
Well, we see it often, don't we? People struggle through the qualifying stages of tournaments, manage to get through, skin of the teeth, and go on to win. Could this be the situation with Kuo? He had no form at all in the beginning. And now, well, how dangerous does he look now?
He needed his best. He knew it. And he provided it. Go ahead, Clive. The 9 goes down, and emotion from Kuo, but the semifinal lineup is now complete. Robert's delighted. Just a fantastic effort from this Taiwanese star. He knew he needed a one-sided defeat of Foldes, and he provided it. The semifinal lineup now reads, Torsten Homan, undefeated, will be up against Kuo, and it'll be Francisco Bustamante opposing Tony Drago. Those are the last 4 in Warsaw. Stay with us.